Islam has mentioned Jesus 24 times.
Yes.
You're doing a wonderful job. You want to spread Christianity, you want to convince people that Jesus is there. Wonderful. Use Islam for this point. Don't attack Islam and don't mention Muhammad was violent. Don't do that. I mean, you're not going to get anywhere. Use it to upgrade your knowledge. But Muslims, we recognize Jesus. He's mentioned more than Muhammad.
A student confronts Cliffe with a challenge that cuts straight to the heart of two of the world's largest religions. The debate erupts on campus, raw, unscripted, and brutally honest. At the center, is Muhammad's legacy one of peace or violence? Does Islam offer love or only mercy? Cliffe argues that the Quran itself contains 3 contradictory teachings on violence, leaving Muslims in an impossible position. The Muslim student fires back, insisting it is people, not scripture, that corrupt religion, and that Islam's track record on justice, mercy, and even Jesus far exceeds the Christian narrative. With billions of lives shaped by these beliefs, the stakes couldn't be higher. So, who actually has the stronger case? Let's step into the conversation.
But that's in all religions, though. Like, it's very easy for you to grab a pen and you just highlight whatever you want. You just said it, KKK does it. Muslims, oh yeah, they do. They do. They highlight what hitting men, and they do that. Yeah. But it is very important to know that infidels, if they attack you, because other than that, there is a chapter at the very end of the Quran where it says, those who you don't believe, I don't worship, like you all have your religion and I have mine.
Right.
So how would you explain that in this case?
Well, I would explain it as there are 3 different teachings that Muhammad gives at different points in his life. The first one is very peaceful. The second one is self-defense. But the third one is very aggressive. And the problem that my Muslim friends have is to choose which one am I supposed to follow. Jesus Christ never taught us to aggressively go after people. Yes, you can make a case for self-defense.
Jesus was captured early on. Jesus would have done the same thing as all the prophets before. He would have tried to spread Christianity, which is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they do, right? I mean,
right.
Moses did it and all the ones were before, like they tried. They didn't know the concept of God yet, but they still tried to do this. Like, hey, life has more meaning.
Right.
But he just didn't have the opportunity. So we don't know like how it would have been indulged, like how he dealt with these situations. But yet again, like this is a very big misconception. I mean, I'm Muslim. I've been here since 2009.
Yeah.
And I disagree with a lot of people on some occasions. That doesn't mean, I mean, this country's taking care of me. I eat here. I study here.
Good.
It's wonderful. And this is how the rationale of a good Muslim is supposed to be. Now, if you see someone who's in conflict, and they need more education probably. They need somebody to come like, dude, here's a chapter. It is what? 4 sentences. It's a 4-sentence chapter with the main focus of paying attention and respecting people and be treated the way you want, treat others the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
So I just asked, like, it's affecting you. Know that Islam has mentioned Jesus 24 times.
Yes.
You're doing a wonderful job. You want to spread Christianity, you want to convince people that Jesus is there. Wonderful. Use Islam for this point. Don't attack Islam and don't mention Muhammad was violent. Don't do that. I mean, you're not going to get anywhere. Use it to upgrade your knowledge. Muslims, we recognize Jesus. He's mentioned more than Muhammad. But what makes Muhammad, what makes him special, at least in my point of view, I don't know how others believe, is that he told me to recognize each and every single one. He told me to look at him for like how he rebelled against. I mean, let's talk about infanticide. Let's talk about how he eliminated this, how he's the only one who eliminated slavery. None of the ones before they tried to eliminate slavery. They didn't have the power to do it. He's the one who did it. It was in his rebellion. And he could have won the world. His family owned Mecca, and he is part of his family. And yet he chose to rebel against slavery. In fact, they used to take girls and bury them alive when they're babies. That's how the situation is. So all I ask of you is to simply acknowledge these beautiful things that Islam. And in the process, you never know, you'd end up saving lives because you keep going, this American stereotypes going, we're going to keep on getting killed and oppressed and all that. It's kind of a message, and again, you still didn't tell me the rebellious violence. I did not buy it because I know the Quran and this chapter I memorized it. And here I am telling you, I'm a Muslim.
Good. And you know that when you read the Hadith and when you study the life of Muhammad, when he went back from Medina back to Mecca,
Hadith is controversial. We don't
know what happened. Come on, sir. Let's not act like you don't know what happened.
Oh yeah, but we don't go by the hadith. The Muslim goes by the Quran. This is the legitimate book. Hadith can be nice. Hadith sometimes no music and all that. Oh, come on, please. I'm not gonna go by this.
Okay.
But my book comes from God, not Muhammad. Muhammad is cool and all, but I don't know. And remember, a lot of people, they were dissenters, they came after him and they messed up the whole hadith thing. So there are the ones in the Middle East. We know our authors, the one who delivered the hadith. We recognize, oh, this is a legitimate guy. He asked us to love people, to respect people. But then you go to the other one and like, oh no, don't listen to music. It's evil. Don't listen to sin. Come on, like anybody can,
Well, I appreciate you and I respect you totally. All right, but let's be honest.
Yes.
Repeatedly in the Quran, we read, Jesus is not God.
True.
Okay.
He's a man.
Repeatedly in the Gospels, Jesus claims to be God.
Okay.
So we have a contradiction. So now we got to figure out, are we going to trust a guy who was born over 500 years after Christ, Muhammad, to be our primary source of information about Jesus? Or are we going to trust the eyewitnesses who saw Christ, heard him, to be our primary source of information?
The Old Testament, which is much older than Jesus Christ himself, Muhammad is mentioned in name, which makes Muhammad, he doesn't really need that much recognition since he has already been mentioned. Now, of course, you're not going to look at
Where is he mentioned in the Old Testament?
It needs to be read in the Hebrew. That's why. Because when you translate a name...
Yeah, I had to learn Hebrew in seminary. Where in the Old Testament is Muhammad talked about?
Unfortunately, I don't know where. But if you Google it right now, if you say, is Muhammad mentioned, it will tell you yes. Pull it out right now.
Well, that's wrong. Whoever wrote that on the internet is wrong. Muhammad is never mentioned. Sir, Muhammad wasn't born until 570 AD. The Old Testament was written BC. So Muhammad is not mentioned in the Old Testament.
But Hagar is. Hagar is the slave lady. They were separated. And God promised them in Genesis, the one that you know, that they will have their own life. That's how you're supposed to recognize Muhammad. It's from this lineage.
Right.
If you don't notice that, I'm sorry and all. But you do know the family tree, right? I'm hoping. Because,
Hagar had Ishmael. Ishmael was not Muhammad. Hagar was not Muhammad.
But Muhammad is a descendant from Ishmael.
All right.
They were giving the honor of defending the center of the universe, the Kaaba. That's their position.
Right.
That's the one who is like, people don't talk about this. But you don't see what's going on. But Hagar was taken to Saudi. It was called something else back in then. And they built the Kaaba that is standing right now. We do the pilgrimage to it. It was built by a cooperation of Abraham and Ishmael. And of course, a lot of things happened during, idolatry started to come in. But the Hajj process is very old, and even probably older than Judaism. The Hajj process, it was misdirected. It was until Muhammad came in.
Right.
And he directed people that Hajj is supposed to be to God only.
Right.
So this is the importance of Muhammad. Yeah, of course. Hagar was kind of thrown out after a couple of sentences. And then the focus became on Sarah, Jacob. Yeah. That's what happened.
Right.
But this Christian people, they don't know this. I found out most of them don't.
So
they don't recognize this.
I'll just take two. So for me personally, how he got his prophecy, right? He was suicidal at the time, and he was trying to throw himself off a mountain a bunch of times, right? And Namus had to come and save him, and that's how he got his prophecy.
I have no idea where you get this from.
Okay.
But let me tell you, he wasn't.
Oxford.
He didn't go because he was suicidal.
Right.
He actually goes to the cave to some sort of meditate.
Okay.
And yes, do you know why he meditates? Do you know why?
You tell, please.
I will tell you.
Please.
It's because his people, they were burying young girls.
Right.
And he belongs to the same guys. And he's looking, he's like, no, something's wrong.
Good. Now, my second question. This one hits home for me. I'm really going to enjoy just your approach to it because it'll help me.
Absolutely.
You brought up terrorism.
Uh-huh.
And I'm totally with you. I think it is absolutely horrible how my Muslim friends back home in Connecticut who I've talked to, the misrepresentation there is terrible. It is so hateful, and it's the furthest thing from love and truth, right?
Okay. Yes.
But when you look at, so when CNN a couple years ago ran the story of the woman who was mentally handicapped, right, and had mental illness, I hope you remember this, burned a Quran.
Okay.
And there were thousands of men who beat her to death and then threw her off the top of a building. what is, help me there. How does this understanding of the burning of a Quran, why does that increase violence? And is it just a misinterpretation and so many people get it wrong?
I will help you.
Yeah.
And in one word, it's people.
Okay.
It's not religion. It's people. Just like the KKK. I mean, don't get me started on lynching and everything, right? I mean, that's,
well, yeah, I'm going to push back.
and trust me, if it's within their reach, they would still do it. If it's within, if they're not encompassed very well within the law, or at least that's what I think. I don't know. God knows what the upcoming days are holding. But it's people. Religion is innocent. Religion is beautiful. When you read the Quran, it's beautiful. It's perfect. It's perfection.
Okay. So I think that's wrong. Here's why. Okay. So you're gonna pick on religion just in general. Okay. The KKK is very small. If we're gonna talk about an Orthodox faith, right? We'll take Orthodox Christianity, Orthodox Muslim faith. Okay. I'm going to say the majority of Islamic faith over there in the Middle East that I've seen prone to violence. You're going to compare that to the Christianity, the Orthodox Christianity that you see today, the majority of it. You're going to say it's just as peaceful? Help me there, because I'm missing that.
It's just people. It's people. That's all I can tell you.
So religion has nothing to do, there's no connection with what motivates them, what drives them?
See, religion has everything for you. If you open the book right now in Quran, you read it from one part to the other part, all over it. You would be convinced. And that's how it's supposed to be. Now, it just happened that these people are not convinced. And remember something, ISIS, they're having a major play in this. Major
misinterpretation. I'm with you.
They are misinterpreted, but they know how to find weakness in human beings. And that's why you see these giant numbers. Europe, man, Europe is scary right now. I mean, most of those stories are actually European.
This will help. I talked to an imam. I had him to our, he works for the UN. He's very, very high up. And he was honest enough to say to me, I don't know if you would go this far. He was honest enough to say to me that he has to take large portions of the Quran and say, what's true for me is true for me, and what's true for you is true for you. So it's a very liberal approach because he sees the violence in the Quran and the Hadith, but I guess you don't see it.
No, there are violence, but it's because of people. But name me one part of violence that you see in the book. That's what I'm requesting of you. Yeah, people, they're being brainwashed. That is happening.
Right.
Everybody sees that. But name the part in the Quran that says that. That's what I want from you. Can you do it? Can you pull out anything that you can? Pull something from Muhammad?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. So I have looked up a lot of those passages. I'll bring you tomorrow, verse by verse, if you'll come back. Right? I can't quote the Quran. Every day this week. Every day this week.
I would love to have like as many people, because again, you didn't answer me.
Yeah.
Know that you
Kill the Infidel is said upwards of 10 times. So we'll go back and we'll argue that tomorrow. And then
but then when you
back to hold on. Back to his point, right? If you look at Muhammad's life, later on in his life, he becomes violent, right? In terms of when he doesn't see the mass conversions going on that he wants to see, he turns violent, right? And then all of a sudden you see this justice. And so you're talking about, no, kill the infidel is simply a matter of somebody saying, no, I'm going to defend myself. Kill the infidel is just in the matter of defense. If you're being honest, can you be honest with me? That's not true. Okay, good.
But here's what happens. Well, he did not kill this way. But here's what he invented, or at least the Islamic invented at the time. It's called the law of jizya. This is a law that is the very first time it was used under the Islamic rule, in which people, if they're Christians, if they're Jews, they would pay a very minimal amount when they would keep their practice. Muslims, they are under the protection of Muslims. They're not touched by anything. They're under protection. This was never been used. Roman Empire, if you don't follow them, you probably know what's going to happen. All of them, Assyrians, you name it. It was Islam who came up with this law. And of course, the Ottoman Empire, they used it again. They actually they sent ships around Europe. But it's merciful. Don't you dare tell me it's not merciful. When in times and harsh like these, you would pay something so minimal, and you would keep your religion and your practice, and you have an army of Muslims that protects you. Can you tell me this is not mercy? In times like these, and how the empires have operated for ages?
Mercy, not love. Yes, mercy. So, and then that's the biggest difference. That's why I love so much of what the Quran and Islam stands for. There is a lot of mercy. But, so I'm simply comparing the two.
Okay, go.
The Christian faith is all about love. The Islamic faith is way more about mercy. But we can never go to the point of love with the Islamic faith, right?
Why not?
Okay, tell me how can we? Is Allah a God of love?
Yes, why not? Please.
I've just never been told that. I simply know it's submission and mercy.
Man, I don't know what kind of Muslims you've been talking about, man. I'm sorry. Of course he is. We are inspired. I mean, Jesus is wonderful. I'm not here to try to convert people or anything. I mean, Quran is inspired.
Why not? Why aren't you here to convert people?
Because Islam is already the #1 conversion rate. I mean,
Okay, so there's 2.5 billion Christians, 1.7 billion
conversion.
Muslims.
I'm not saying there are more.
So you don't need to convert. So what's the point of converting? Can we get at that?
It's
focus on
true.
converting.
It's true. I mean, if you personally, would you rather find someone that is atheist, or would you find like someone Muslim? But then again, my main request.
It doesn't really matter to me. Yeah, keep going.
It doesn't, because you probably look at it the same, and I want to change that.
So you're saying Muslims are better than atheists?
I'm not. I'm just saying.
You just said that.
No.
What'd you say?
I mean, Islam is. I mean, you're man of the book, right? And if you don't recognize Islam as one of the people of the book, I'm sorry for you. I am. Because what is the part that made you say that God is not love? Tell me. What do you mean you didn't see it? And yet you propose that you say you know a lot of Muslims.
A lot. Yeah, it's all about submission. Submit to Allah's will. He's a God of mercy.
Aren't you submitting to Jesus?
Certainly. But what is Jesus? Jesus gave his life for us on a cross. Okay, so now we're getting to love and grace. I love it. Here we go.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
So Jesus Christ and the Christian message is all about love and grace. And you see that with the cross, clearly. Okay, the Islamic faith, along with the Buddhist faith and many others, you're going to see whether it's karma, whether it's it's all works righteousness based. It's how good of a person are you, correct?
That's both of us.
Beautiful. No, okay. It's not both of us. Careful.
Islam is not, so you're saying
absolutely not. And here's why I'm going to, and I want to get into the emotional here. It's enough just intellectual. I'm going to get into the emotional here, and here's why. If we simply live our lives, even if it's our religions, based off of, what can I do to get to heaven? Can I be a better person? That is just the same. It's in the same area of, okay, I'm going to be a better business. It's the same competitive drive. I'm going to be a better businessman than you. I'm going to be a better lawyer than you, right? The cross of Christ comes in, strips that underneath, right? Cuts it right off at the knees and says, no, hold on here. Jesus did that for you. And so you're moving, and this is where the emotional comes in. You're moving from a place of, I need to do it all my own. So if my parents want me to be a great businessman, if my parents want me to be a great basketball player, and I really respect my parents, I got to live in that kind of way. And in Islam, we see this matter of, I better be this kind of a good person in this kind of competitive way. I better be that good in order to get to paradise, right? The Christian faith is different simply in the sense of you are already approved, Jesus Christ says, and so you can go out in freedom to do great works instead of having to prove your worth, prove yourself as a good person, as a good businessman. Okay? And so do you see how that's limiting as opposed to freeing?
Actually, they're both based on the fact that if you're a good person, you would be in heaven, and if you're bad, I mean, what are you going to tell me the cross will save you? It will save like Hitler and versus just an average, Muslim that is okay and safe. They're going to receive different treatment. And let me tell you, in Islam,
it's very different.
And Jesus, by the way, we don't say he's crucified. It says he seemed, which kind of seems to go with what you say. I mean, when you say Jesus crucified, but then he wakes up, it's kind of the same thing as it seemed to them that he was crucified, but he wasn't. They're kind of the same sentence if you think about it. And that's what the Quran says. So, dude, Jesus is legit in the Quran. I can tell you things that even the Bible doesn't have. I can tell you stories about Jesus that you don't know. That's what the Quran has.
Yeah, what's one?
What's one?
Yeah.
Is that the fact that he He made an animal like a bird out of the clay.
Uh-huh.
Of course, all the other ones are mentioned. Treating the leprous, the blind, all those are mentioned.
Yeah.
His mother is mentioned. She has her own chapter. Jesus is mentioned. He has his own chapter.
He made an animal out of clay? What was the significance of that?
It's like the significance of treating the leprous and raising the dead is the same concept. That's exactly. It's to prove that people.
No, I would say that's to reverse what we see with entropy, with our fallen human world, depravity, all of his miracles, whether it's with the lepers, the poor, the blind man, all of those are simply to reverse what we have here on earth, right? We have sinfulness, fallenness. Turning a bird into a piece of clay, there would be no purpose for Jesus to do that in that sense, right?
Why not?
If we're talking about the miraculous.
Why not? I mean, Moses throw his stick and ate snakes, all the snakes. Are you gonna tell me that doesn't have like a significance?
Yeah.
Why this does?
That was, again, there was purpose to that. What's the purpose to your little clay animation?